G'day everyone and welcome back to NS2HD. This is a Build 161 game played on Tram in which I'm going to do a bit of a commander tutorial for all you Marine Commander players out there. If you're a little bit scared of getting into the Marine Command Station at the moment and commanding the game on Tram at the moment, then I hope this video will encourage you to do it a little more often. So, going to go ahead and commentate the early game before I talk more generally. I've immediately dropped an armory underneath the crane in Marine Start. Now, I like dropping the armory here because it means lurks can't sit on the crane and gas it, but I'm sure many of you will have better places you put the armory, so please let me know in the comments what your opinions are about where that armory should be placed. The next thing I've done is start talking to my Marine team. Now that's the most important thing you can do as a commander at the start. Drop an armory and start talking to your team. Dropping an armory straight away lets your team know that you're there, that you're on it, that you're with the game, and you've got your wits about you, and of course starting to talk about them gets that whole team atmosphere going, gets the psychology of the team working together, and that's really, really important in Natural Selection 2 because it is all about team play. There is no room for Rambo in Natural Selection 2. So what I'm saying right now is, guys, we need to push onto the west side of the map through Marine Expansion towards the double res nodes in Tram Repair. Now, of course, when your team first spawns in, they're all going to be a bit all over the place because they'll join in at different times. Some of them like to play around, hop around in the ready room discussing the previous game for a while, and so you will only slowly get your whole team into the game. And that's what's happening here. Some of my teammates are like, woo, let's mess around in Marine Start a little bit, let's slowly move into Marine Expansion and to Repair Room. So basically you've just got to herd your team gently and being a friendly commander, and just urge them towards what you need them to do on public servers. Obviously if you're playing in some sort of clan, then your whole team is going to be like following your orders to a T, but I'm talking about public play here. So here I've got my Mac, and I'm just sort of guiding my Marines in with the Mac, showing them that I'm there with them. That's very important, and it really helps the psychology of what you're doing. And the first thing I'm going to do in here is drop an extractor. Now note that I didn't go nuts spending all my carbon straight away on sentry guns and shotguns. I didn't plan a shotgun rush or anything like that. So what I'm doing here is saving my carbon for extractors, and that's really, really important. Also note earlier I forgot to commentate the fact that I was locking the doors. I locked the doors into Repair Room after my Marine teammates started to push in. That's Blue Squad. And I locked the door towards observation in Marine Start after a teammate reminded me that I'd forgotten to lock it. So getting that conversation going with your team can help you two ways. It can help you give orders, and it can also help your teammates know that their feedback will be welcome. So obviously I said over the microphone, thanks a lot for reminding me. That's really important that you did that, and generally giving encouragement. So note there how good that opening turned out. I got 2 extractors down and we killed an alien extractor. So the alien commander lost 15 carbon and we spent 30 carbon on 2 extractors, and that's going to stand us in really good stead. And of course that Tram Repair Room, now the only access in there is through Marine Start or through Marine Expansion or through the vent. So there's very limited access now into Tram Repair, which is excellent. And now I've saved up the carbon for a command station. So note, my first 4 purchases were Armory, Extractor, Command Station. So this is a bit of a tech build. This is a very heavy, I'd call this a heavy tech build. Immediately going for 2 extractors and then for the command station in Marine Expansion. Important things to note, just note on the mini-map that there's a skulk chewing on one of the extractors, so that's not good. Over the microphone asking my teammates to save that extractor. Note that the little microphone icon is constantly popping up on the left hand of my screen. That's when I'm talking. Now obviously I don't record my own microphone voice because that would be really confusing, having both my microphone voice and my commentating voice recording at the same time. That would be very confusing. So I don't do that, but just note how often it is coming up. That's how often I am talking, how much I'm talking to my team, encouraging them, telling them what's going on, keeping them involved in their strategic decisions and the strategic overview of the game. Excuse me. One thing this build is not good for is map control. I have almost no map control as my teammates go to work there on that Tram Repair crag. That's just another victory for us, another carbon loss for the alien commander. This means you do not have a lot of map control early on in the game, and especially at this stage in the beta, the aliens seem to have a lot more resources than the Marines, not quite balanced there. But what that means is the aliens can expand across the map very quickly, gather up all the spare extractors, and take them all very, very quickly. But the idea behind this build is to get to flamethrowers. That's really the whole idea. That is the peak tech at the moment in the beta, getting flamethrowers. So that's what this build is about, and I will demonstrate getting to flamethrowers. I'm not going to commentate this entire game. I'm going to cut it off at about 10 minutes once the weapons module starts to be researched. That's a giveaway that we actually do get the weapons module. Not going to commentate the whole game. It was a very, very long game, and the idea was to provide a tutorial here. So, at the start of the game, note that I didn't panic and start buying sentry guns. Instead, I kept my teammates informed, I kept them running around, and I kept them in the know about what areas needed defending, because buying a sentry gun early on in the game is a huge, huge investment, and all too often I join a game just as a Marine player on Tram, or even on Rockdown in fact, and I'll join the game and it'll start, and the commander, the first thing they'll do is buy an armory and 2 sentry guns. So they'll spend all that early carbon on an armory and 2 sentry guns, and suddenly they'll have no carbon for expansion. They won't be able to get any more extractors. They won't be able to get a second command station, which of course is crucial for level 2 tech. And so the team will be utterly starved. You'll only have the 1 extractor that you start with, and you just won't have enough plasma or carbon. Of course, even if you spend all your carbon upgrading that home extractor, so 15 carbon to upgrade it 3 times 5 carbon each to a level 3 extractor, that will only give you the plasma production of the 3 extractors I have now, and it will give you the same amount of carbon production. Of course, carbon is utterly essential to getting those upgrades like the flamethrower. Blue Squad in there in Tram repair, doing some pressure towards alien expansion. I asked them if they'd like me to open the door there for them to be able to push into alien expansion. I believe they said no. They were just cleaning up a skulk that came in earlier through the vent. So the base is completely undefended really, apart from the Marine team at the moment. And the key to this defense is that someone will always be spawning from the infantry portal, because someone will always have died. I've asked one squad to stay out the front of Marine start and just fight in the tram tunnels. Now note that I didn't ask them to defend Marine base, because if you do that on a public server, usually Marines will be like, I did not join this game to defend, I want to get out there and attack. So I worded it differently. I said, Red Squad, could you please fight out in the tram tunnels, just not too far from Marine Start, so towards Tram Hub. And that's a much better way of asking your teammates to defend than saying, look, can you just hang around in Marine Start and wait for the enemy to come to you. But it achieves the same objective, because it's a forward defense, it prevents the aliens getting damage onto your buildings, and it also keeps the aliens sort of just outside your base, just outside where they can pick off spawning Marines with, say, gas or snipe. And it's a lot more fun for your Marine players. And often I've found in many pub games, people are all too happy to do this because they can just constantly fight out here in tram tunnels, defending the base, receiving health and ammo packs out there, and then just come in and re-arm and heal at the armory. I have saved 20 carbon now to place a sentry gun. Note my placement. I put it up high on the blue crate at the back of the base, pointing towards the armory and the front door. And the idea behind this sentry gun is not that it will defend the whole base, because it can't. A skulk could easily get behind it and chomp it, or a lurk could snipe it, or a fade could blink behind it. The idea is instead to support Marines defending the base. So the idea is, I'm saying over the microphone now, if you're going to fight in main base, then fight in front of the sentry gun, where the sentry gun can support you, instead of fighting out in the corners where skulks can pick you off. So it's a supporting gun. It's not meant to defend the whole base itself. And of course the benefit of that is you don't waste all your carbon on lots of sentry guns in every corner pointing at each other, trying to play Sim City or tower defense or something, because that's not what NS2 is about. Have a fade harassing both repair, room, and marine expansion, almost taking down the sentry gun in marine expansion as well, but that's okay. Similar to the Marine Start sentry gun, that was just meant to be a supporting sentry gun to support Marines doing the defensive work. Now I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, guys. This was just to give you an idea of how you can open a Tram game as Marine Commander, and how there are alternatives to just spamming sentry guns in your base at the start. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone.